Good morning, everybody. We're live here from the birdhouse, and it is Saturday, May 13th. So we are in the middle of May, and we are in prime migration time here in upstate New York. So it's very exciting. It's a really exciting time of the year. So we love to know what kind of things you're seeing in your yard. So you can post those sightings in the comments, or if you've got any questions, you can throw those in there too. So, or you can always just say hi. So, would love to know who's online so you can give us your sightings. We'll share some of your photos. A lot of you guys have been sending in your photos, and so we'll share some of those as well. And today we do have a promo going on here at the store. We're having a sweet seed promotion today. So some of you guys might use this product already. This is a local nectar company, and they are out of the Syracuse area. And we're doing a promotion today. With every purchase of $50 or more, you get a free packet of their ready-to-use nectar. So they're here in the store today showing off some of their different products. Everything is infused with different things, so it's not just sugar and water. For example, their hummingbird nectar is wildflower infused, and their Oriole nectar, which they also have, is citrus infused. So just gives them that little something extra there. They also have butterfly nectar, and some of the nectar is packaged really nicely in bottles like this. So if you're looking for a Mother's Day gift, it makes a really good presentation for a Mother's Day gift. So they are here today from 10 till 2, giving out some freebies while supplies last. So we've got that going on today. Next week, we have 2 bird walks going on. On Tuesday, we've got one at Whitehaven Park. Thursday, we've got one at Tinker Park. So you can get more information about those on our website, which is thebirdhouseny.com. We hope you can join us for one or both of those. And another fun thing that we just got in are Eclipse sunglasses. So we've got some different types here, especially if you are in the upstate New York area. You probably know that next April, we are going to be right in the middle of where the complete solar eclipse is going to happen. So that's on April 8th of next year. But also this year in October, we're going to have an annual eclipse, which isn't going to be as spectacular as next year's, but we do have some different eclipse glasses that just came in, some different books about eclipses, so we do have those in right now as well. So you've probably seen, if you're in the upstate New York area, probably seen some news stories about how they're expecting thousands and thousands of people to visit our area to be right in the line of that complete eclipse. So it should be a lot of fun. But anyway, getting back to the bird stuff, I've been pulling up these migration maps as the season goes on, and we like to see, how the migration changes day to day or week to week. So when we first started kind of pulling these up earlier on in the season, it would show the migration of birds flowing through the area to be about, a couple 100 million or so a night, and it's still very, very high. So this is a map by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. Every day they refresh these maps. This is something called Birdcast, and they look at what the predicted migration is through the continental U.S. every night, because these birds will migrate overnight. And so earlier on in the season, we were in kind of a low migration pattern here. There wasn't too much going on, but now every day it seems like we are getting more and more migration coming through. So for a while we were in this kind of, if you look at the colors down here, purple means low migration. We were having low migration, but now we're starting to have colors that look more orangish, and they should start to get more yellow over the next week. So still lots of birds flowing through the area. If you haven't gotten Orioles or hummingbirds yet, you're not alone. We've gotten reports where people have seen an Oriole, for a day or so they had the Oriole, then it seemed to move on. It's totally common. So they're still flowing through the area. So if you haven't gotten some of these migratory birds we're talking about, don't despair. I haven't gotten any Rosebreasted Grosbeaks yet. I'm anxiously waiting. I haven't seen any hummingbirds yet, but they're on their way. So this is the map of last night going into today. So it looks like we had some good migration overnight. Whereas tonight going into tomorrow looks to be not quite as much. But then going into Monday, it's looking a little bit better. So there's still a lot of birds flowing through the area and more to come. So we'll keep you updated about the different things people are seeing. So now here's some of my really bad grainy photos that I took with my cell phone through my kitchen glass door. These are, if you squint really hard, you might be able to see what I'm trying to show here. So this is a gray catbird. So I had a gray catbird at my Oriole feeder. So usually I see the gray catbird first before I see any Orioles, and this year was no exception. So I had the gray catbird there for a day. He or she seems to have moved on at the moment, but I had a gray catbird. And you might be able to see here a very grainy picture of an Oriole too. So I got my first Oriole and catbird of the season. Haven't yet seen those Rosebreasted Grosbeaks or Hummingbirds yet. But this morning in my trees, the Merlin app picked up a couple different birds that were singing their little hearts out. So I had yellow warbler nearby singing. And then what's called a warbling vireo. And they sing a lot. So if you are hearing stuff and you're not totally sure what they are, I definitely recommend downloading the Merlin app, which is another tool that is from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. And so you download the app and it can listen to what birds you hear around you and identify what they are. So really, really cool. So you might have some things around you you had no idea about, which is really exciting. But you guys have been sending in some photos of some fun stuff. So this picture was sent in by Karen, who's a nesting robin. She says, Mom Robin built a cozy nest under our deck, waiting to see the babies. So that robin's all hunkered down there. And there's been some bluebird activity here. I love this picture that Bob sent in that he captioned, don't forget the mealworms, which we have both freeze-dried and live mealworms in the store. So we've got tubs of the live mealworms as well. We've got them in 500 count. We also have them in 1,000 count now. For a while, we could only get tubs that were 500, but now we've got 500 and 1,000. So if you go through a lot of mealworms, we've got them here for you. So some bluebird activity from you guys. This photo was sent in by Jen, who has a bluebird nesting in a box. And then these photos were sent in by Bob, who's been keeping us updated about his bluebird activity in his box. There were some eggs laid, and he had videos of the hatchlings. And now he says, Mama Bluebird working hard. These babies all appear to have feathers, so it shouldn't be too much longer before fledging. And you can see here, looks like the mom poking her head out of the box there. And then he sent in this one afterwards. It says, someone is starting to realize there's more to the world than that tiny box. Hopefully the 4 babies, maybe 3, will fledge this weekend. So there's a little head poking out of the box there. Looks like a little juvenile bluebird that's just starting to explore the world and poke its head out a little bit to see what's going on outside. So really, really fun time of the year when those first fledglings start to go out into the world. They're really fun to watch. And then there's been some hummingbird activity. So some people have been getting some hummingbirds. Usually we say around Mother's Day is when they really start to come in. So that's right about now. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. And this photo was sent in by Bob, who says, first ruby-throated hummingbird of the season. iPhone photo since I'm downloading my SSD card currently. And then he sent in this photo as well after the fact. So people are getting hummingbirds starting to come back into the area, as well as more Baltimore Oriole sightings. So you guys have been sending us lots of Oriole photos. They have been migrating in and super hungry and coming to feeders to eat jelly and oranges and drink some nectar. So here's a photo sent in by Anne. We've got these here from Mark, who says Baltimore Oriole taking a bath. So it looks like this Oriole's by a stream or some kind of water there, cleaning off its feathers and getting a drink. Here's another Oriole photo sent in by Stacy, another from Brittany. So these Orioles are definitely hungry, coming to Oriole feeders. This one's coming to a hummingbird feeder, so that's always fun. You never know which feeder they're going to try to come to. And they'll also come to bird baths, like this photo sent in by Jen, who had an oriole coming to her bird bath, and it looks like she's got one of those solar fountain inserts in that bird bath as well. So lots of orioles flowing in to the area, and you guys have been sending in all kinds of fun photos of them. I thought this was neat. Bob sent in this photo saying gather nesting materials. So it looks like the oriole he has around to starting the nesting process. And he also just sent in this photo of a female. So we've been getting lots of photos of male orioles, but not so many of the females yet. And so this was the first photo we've received in of a female oriole coming to a feeder this year. So, and you can see she obviously doesn't read the label on the packaging either because she is on the hummingbird feeder. So then there's also Rosebreasted Grosbeaks coming into the area, people reporting those. Here's a photo of 2 Rosebreasted Grosbeaks at feeder sent in by Anne. There's one kind of perched up here at the top and then one on the feeder down here. And you can see that this one down at the bottom here is eating safflower seed. So she's got a feeder full of safflower seed that the grosbeaks are feasting on, and that's what I've got out at the moment to try to attract them and keep the things like the sparrows and the starlings and the grackles at bay. So got my feeders all ready here for the rose-breasted grosbeaks, but you guys are definitely getting some. This photo was sent in by Rich, who also had a rose-breasted grosbeak. Stacy had one as well. So here's this one. It's got a little bit of speckling on it. Cassidy, who works here at the store, sent in this photo. She's got some rose-breasted grosbeaks. Here's Dawn had some out in Williamson. So there's lots of different grosbeaks around, and you can see that they are attracted to a feeder that does have some perching room to it because they are a larger bird. They do need something that's a tray or a hopper, something that's got some perching room for them to be able to fit on. So definitely have those in stock here at the store. Here's a much better gray catbird photo than the one I had. This was sent in by Bob, who had a gray catbird in his yard, as well as a mockingbird. So both of these will come to oriole feeders here and there, especially if you've got oranges and jelly out. The gray catbird in my yard is just devouring the oranges. So keep an eye out for them in your yard. And then there's some different sparrows you might see, like this white-crowned sparrow that Mark sent a photo in of. And you guys, some of you other guys have been seeing them too. Rich sent in this photo here of another white-crowned sparrow. So they are definitely coming into the area. You might get them more so underneath your feeder than on your feeder, but they're definitely around. Chipping sparrow is another type. They're going to be smaller. They've got that little chestnut cap on the top of their head, and they've got a line that goes right through their eye. So they are coming into the area as well. And then you might also see the white-throated sparrow. So white-throated sparrow have a white patch on their throat. They also have some stripes on the top of their head, and then they've got that yellow mark in between their eye and their bill. So the white-throated sparrow look a lot like the white-crowned sparrow, but you can see the white-crowned sparrow doesn't have that yellow patch in between its eye and its bill. So that's one way to tell the difference. And this white-crowned sparrow is a lot more gray than the white-throated sparrow is. So some different birds to be out on the lookout for underneath your feeders, including this sparrow here, which is called an eastern towhee. And they are very, very different looking. They have the bright red eye, and they've got the chestnut color on the side of their body. So there are also some warblers coming into the area, and hopefully we will see warblers, a lot of warblers on the walks that we're doing next week. So we'll keep you posted about what we're seeing. But Bob sent in this photo here of a palm warbler and a Cape May warbler that is still around. So a couple photos of them. And here is a yellow warbler. So this was sent in by Bob, who says, one of the things I don't like about my current camera is it almost looks like the bird isn't real, like a really low f-stop. Funny story is I heard it in my neighbor's yard, and I went to investigate, and it flew into a tree right next to me. So yellow warbler is going to be one of the more common warblers that you will find here in the area. This is the one that I heard singing in my tree this morning. So they are definitely singing quite a lot. So you can keep your ear out for the yellow warbler because it is one of the more common warbler species you'll find around here. Speaking of common, this is the common yellowthroat, another type of warbler, and this photo was sent in by Mark. A great photo there of the common yellowthroat. And this beautiful warbler is a chestnut-sided warbler. So there's over 30 different types of warbler species that we do get in the area, either passing through or nesting here. So they can be a lot of fun to go look for. They're little, they hop around a lot. They're usually fairly brightly colored, so they can be fun to try to pick out of the trees. But the trees are kind of leafing out earlier this year than usual, so it might be a little bit more challenging to find them. This is a black-throated blue warbler that was taken at Cobb's Hill. Great place to look for warblers. Nashville warbler here perched in the tree, and then there's that Cape May warbler again. And the yellow-rumped warbler is another common warbler species that you will find around here. They have those yellow patches on the side of their body, but then you can also see here in this photo, they do have that yellow rump patch. So that's the patch right here by their tail feathers. So pine warbler are another type of species you might find around here. Every once in a while, someone gets them at their feeder, especially if you've got some sunflower hearts out. They seem to like those. And then this one with the little chestnut-colored cap on the top of its head is called a palm warbler. We've got those around here as well. So lots of different things to be on the lookout for. And if you're looking for warblers, keep an eye out for kinglets as well, which kind of have the same type of characteristics in the way that they're small. They hop around a lot, so they're constantly on the move. But this is a ruby crown kinglet that people have been seeing a lot of recently. And they've got that little red patch on the top of their head. So here's another photo of it with the feathers really flared out there. And there are other migratory birds that are coming into the area. This wood thrush, here's a great photo of a wood thrush sent in by Mark there. So it's got the kind of speckly breast. There's different types of thrushes that we get in the area. Our robins, we see them all the time. Eastern bluebirds, wood thrush, veery, hermit thrush are another type. So lots of different thrush species you could find around here. And then eastern kingbird. This is a cool one. This is a flycatcher species, and Mark sent in this photo from over by the Erie Canal. So a couple pictures there of the eastern kingbird, and I actually saw a couple of those earlier in the week also around the river. So eastern kingbirds back in the area. And we're getting some reports of scarlet tanager coming back. So this is always exciting when they start to be seen around the area. They will sometimes come to feeders early on in the season. Again, if you've got sunflower hearts out, that's one way to attract them. And they do like water, especially moving water. So if you've got any kind of moving water feature or bird bath in your backyard, keep an eye out because you never know what might pop in, including something like this, which is a beautiful scarlet tanager. The males are bright red with those black wings, and the females are more yellow with black wings. And indigo bunting. So we've heard a few reports of indigo buntings in the area, and they will come to feeders sometimes too. They like feeders that have millet or Niger in them. So they like those smaller seeds. And again, sunflower hearts. Just about any kind of bird that will come to a feeder will eat sunflower hearts, including the indigo bunting. And just a couple more photos here. Love this picture that was sent in by Mark of a little gosling. So those goose eggs have hatched, and you can go out really by any kind of body of water and see some geese with a trail of young babies behind them. And Mark snapped this photo here of a little gosling, a little fuzzy gosling. And still some hawk activity out there. Bob sent in this photo of the Cooper's hawk, which I believe is a Cooper's hawk. And look at that fierce look on its face. That's what makes me think that, and its rounded tail makes me think it's a Cooper's hawk. They're known to have kind of a fierce look in their face, and this one's definitely looking that way. So Cooper's hawk sent him by Bob. And he also had these cute photos here. He says, young foxes or kits exploring my neighbor's yard. So not only are the young birds out there and about to leave their nest boxes and explore the world, but so are some of the mammals, like the little foxes. So it's not totally uncommon to see them during the day this time of the year. Raccoons too, just as they start to explore the world a little bit. Sometimes they're seen out during the day. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or questions, absolutely put them in the comments here. We do have our sweet seed promotion happening for the morning and into the early afternoon today. So that is where you can come in and get a free packet of hummingbird nectar here with any purchase over $50. So if you're doing any kind of Mother's Day shopping, we've got all kinds of fun stuff here for Mother's Day, and we gift wrap for free. So that's always popular with people. Esther says, my Orioles like the hummingbird food, won't go near the Oriole feeder. So it sounds like Esther's Orioles aren't paying attention to the packaging. Yeah, they'll drink the hummingbird nectar. So it could be that they just want something with a little bit more sugar in it, especially as they're migrating in. That's not too surprising. Lynn says, good morning. I've seen 2 male Orioles and hummingbirds started showing up yesterday. Catbird is loving my jelly too. It was meowing like my daughter's cat yesterday. So Lynn not only is seeing Orioles and hummingbirds, but she's got the catbird coming to her feeders also. So really cool. Ed is on, and he says, we were thrilled to see all of our favorite migrants at the feeders this week. The Orioles came first, 2 males and at least 1 female. Then the Rosebreasted Grosbeaks arrived. It might be 2 males and 2 females. Then finally, just yesterday, the Hummers arrived. Not sure, but it seems like there are 2. A Cooper's hawk stopped by earlier, but left with empty talons. Big birding week for us down near Mendham Ponds Park. So I'm seeing some different migrants that are coming into the area also, which is exciting. And so if you're kind of not sure what you're seeing, that's another thing too, especially if you're with all these new birds coming in, if you're not totally sure what you're seeing. We do have all kinds of different bird guides. This Birds of New York is always popular because it's all arranged by color. So if you see a bird that has blue on it, for example, you just go to the blue section and you can flip through and see all the birds that have some kind of blue on it. So this is a really popular book. This is a really good one for beginners, especially. It doesn't have every bird that you'll see here locally, but it's got a lot of them, and it's got the most common ones. But if you're looking to upgrade, we do have other books as well. We've got the Sibley's Guide and Peterson's Guides if you're looking for everything that you could find on the East Coast. And if you want to really dive in and see all the different types of plumages and things that the birds have, especially as we're getting into those young fledging and going out into the world, they can look a lot different than the parents sometimes. This Crosley ID guide is great. This not only shows them in all their different plumages, it shows them in their habitats as well. So it shows them where in the kind of habitat you would likely see them, and all the different plumages and behaviors that'll show how they perch and everything. So really cool book if you're looking to upgrade. It's pretty big, so it's not something you'd want to just throw into a backpack, but it is a really, really great guide. And as we go on into the summer and there starts to be more bugs out there and bees and insects and butterflies, you might want to pick up this one. I love this book. This is the Kaufman Field Guide to Insects. Really, really good identification book here for the different bugs you'll find in the area. But as far as things go for Mother's Day, if you're looking for gifts for Mother's Day, we've got all kinds of fun birding stuff. We've got jewelry, we've got lotions, we've got fun garden art. So we are fully stocked here at the store. We're open all weekend long. So we're open today, which is Saturday, until 6. And then tomorrow, which is Mother's Day on Sunday, we're open from 10 till 5. So we are open all weekend long. And you can always buy things online too for local pickup, including gift certificates. So keep that in mind also. If you've got too much to do and you just want to simplify your life, you can just order a gift certificate and we can even send it right out to its recipient. So we've got lots of stuff going on coming up. Keep an eye out on our calendar of events, which you can see on Facebook and on thebirdhouseny.com. And pop in today for the Sweet Seed promo. So They are here until 2 o'clock today. Josh, who's been on our broadcast before, is here in person, as well as his business partner, Juice. So they're both here today. So we will talk to you guys soon and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.